a few weeks ago, the New Orleans Saints drafted Tyler Shough 40th overall. And at the time, it was viewed as a controversial selection because Shedeur Sanders was still on the board. And a lot of people thought, why the hell are you drafting Tyler Shough this early on? NFL media, Saints fans, other fan bases made fun of the selection. But now we're finding out that Tyler Shough was actually a hot name on draft day 2. Jeremy Fowler leaked a lot of draft intel around all 32 teams. So we're going to dive into what he said about the New Orleans Saints here on Saints Now by Chat Sports. We are on the road to 50K subscribers here at Saints Now by Chat Sports, and we are currently less than 5,000 away. And I know that that's a big number, but we're going to get there before you know it. In the blink of an eye, we'll be across that 50,000 milestone, and I need your help. Subscribe today for daily Saints content by fans, for fans, and we put out live shows. We do short-form content. We do daily videos and everything in between. It's your one-stop shop for Saints fans. So hit the sub button today. Now let's dive into Tyler Shough because, when it comes to him being a hot commodity, I think a lot of NFL fans and a lot of podcasters, they all did not really value Tyler Shough as highly as the people actually in the NFL draft rooms, the scouts, the coaches, the general managers. I think that they may have actually viewed Tyler Shough as a very, very respectable prospect. And when you take into consideration the fact that a player like Shedeur Sanders fell as far as he did, this pick was very, very criticized at the time. And people were like, why are you taking an injury-prone old quarterback? This is so stupid. You have Shedeur Sanders, who's a franchise-changing player, available right there. But when you actually peel back the curtain and you look at why Shedeur Sanders fell and why teams liked Tyler Shough, it actually starts to put all the puzzle pieces together. And Jeremy Fowler did a really good job of reporting all of this information, and he shared that an AFC executive actually thought very, very highly of the Louisville quarterback. He was a hot name day 2. It sounds like he would have gone pretty quickly if not for New Orleans at 40th overall. He's got some of what Kellen Moore likes in the intelligence at the position, a good makeup. He will need to improve his accuracy at the next level, which I think is a totally fair critique. And for what it's worth, he is still going to be a rookie, and there are going to be things that create a learning curve. However, I think that when you look at Tyler Shough and you look at where the Saints are currently as a team, I think it actually might be a match made in heaven. And, the AFC executives that's stayed anonymous here isn't the only one who's praised the selection. We've actually seen some other NFL media. Kay Adams went into full detail and a full breakdown, and, they loved the selection over on her show. And people did question why Tyler Shough was taken over Shedeur Sanders. But, when you look at all of the things around him and you take into consideration what teams value, I think that he was really, really loved by NFL scouts. And, for what it's worth, I think he should be loved by Saints fans just as much as the NFL scouts. I mean, he's done a great job in terms of trying to win over the fan base here. So he's committed to the Who Dat Nation. I mean, he literally posted on social media, I will die for y'all on that field. And for what it's worth, we don't need him dying on the field. That would actually be, detrimental for the team. But, I love the commitment. I'm ready to run through a brick wall for somebody who has that kind of mindset. And it just shows how passionate and how confident of a leader he is. And those are things and those are traits that he's been praised for throughout his career at Oregon, Louisville, and Texas Tech. And I think that those are things that Kellen Moore really likes about him. And we saw that with a lot of the additions in free agency and a lot of the draft picks. They all have very similar qualities in being really, really good leaders. And, the fact that he respects the team history, he didn't want anything to do with any of the numbers like 8 or 9. He went with 6 because 9 was his number at Louisville. 9, obviously, Drew Brees' numbers. Flipped it upside down. He's rocking number 6. He's indulging in the culture. He already ate at Drago's out there and got to sit down and have a long, extended meal with some locals. I mean, it's a really, really, really impressive how much work he's doing with the teammates. I mean, in my opinion, he is a pro-ready player, and that is a big thing. That was a strength of his and a big thing going for Tyler Shough is how pro-ready he is. So in my opinion, I understand why you might be upset and why you might be frustrated that Tyler Shough is the future of this team, at least for now. But I do think that we should give not just Tyler Shough, but Kellen Moore the opportunities to prove themselves right. Tyler Shough has said that he views himself as the best quarterback in this draft class. I want to see him prove it. To be totally honest, I think he has a little bit of a chip on his shoulder. He's been overlooked. People didn't talk about him, and this is a really good situation for him to turn this franchise around and turn this team around, and he does have a lot of good things going for him. We went into a really long breakdown of all of the pros and all of the cons of Tyler Shough after the draft selection. My guy Jack Sperry joined the program, and we went through a lot of these positives. I mean, the fact that he has the NFL size, he has really nice speed, and it's a very underrated aspect of his game is the athleticism. The arm is very, very impressive, and he's able to release and throw from different angles, which is really, really nice. The quick and clean release, the polished footwork. He does have very underrated mobility as well. The deep ball is absolutely beautiful. I can already picture it. Shough to Shaheed, 40, 50-yard bombs. Chef's kiss, I need it, baby. The pre-snap processing, he has a very high football IQ. He's very accurate at all levels, and he does a great job of limiting sacks and interceptions. And sure, there is the critiques of, he may need better accuracy more consistently, and maybe he needs to do better at not having those oh shit moments and just tossing the pill all over the place and underhanding it to the DBs. But, I do believe that Tyler Shough has what it takes to potentially be great. He has to put it all together. I'm not saying he will be great. I think he has the traits and the qualities to be a great quarterback. And in order for that to happen, Kellen Moore is going to need to maximize him. And not just maximize the player, but maximize the roster around him. Because Tyler Shough, I think that he can be a great football player, but one thing that I'm not necessarily confident about is the on-the-fly decision-making and the ability to just on the spot make a decision and make something happen out of nowhere and improvise. I'd love for him to see that develop. I don't know if that'll happen. Maybe it will. But when it comes to Tyler Shough, I do think he has what it takes to be a great quarterback. And we have a lot more draft intel to dive into. But I want to ask you, how many yards do you think Tyler Shough will have? Fill in the blank for me. Tyler Shough will have blank yards in 2025. Get in the comment section. Share your thoughts. I want to hear from you. Who Dat Nation. Now coming up, the Saints made 2 more picks that scouts absolutely loved. I'll give you a hint. One of them, you will not expect who it was. A late round selection in day 3. I'll give you a hint who it was. The first one being, though, Kelvin Banks. Very, very smart selection here for the New Orleans Saints. These scouts loved this pick here. And to be totally honest, the more time I give it, the more that I think about it, the more that I digest it, I'm starting to love the selection as well. And I do think he was an underrated selection by the New Orleans Saints. And Jeremy Fowler reporting that although he was a player that was popular to go in the teens and early 20s during mock drafts, he was viewed as a top 10 pick in the eyes of NFL scouts. And an NFC executive actually said that he's an awesome player. He's Laramie Tunsil, and he didn't know Laramie Tunsil is a 5-time Pro Bowl tackle. And if we can get that out of Kelvin Banks, sign me the F up. I'm absolutely all in on that. And look, we know what the offensive philosophy is in New Orleans. Kellen Moore and Mykel Williams made it very clear that they believe in building from the inside out. So they're going to start with the trenches and get the offensive line built the way they want it to. And then we can expect the flashy selections and the fun trades and the big draft picks and big splash signings and all that good stuff. But they got to get the trenches figured out first. And so, dear offensive line, dear trenches, I'm just asking you, please put it all together. Last year, in the first couple of weeks, we really saw some great things. And sure, the Panthers and the Cowboys proved to not be amazing teams, but when the offensive line was healthy, it was an unstoppable unit. So not only am I asking you please to execute and put it all together, Trevor Penning, find a way to get on the field and find a way to make it happen, but also please just stay healthy. Oh my goodness, I cannot deal with Eric McCoy missing extended time. Talese Fuaga, stud. I need to see him stay on the field. I want to see him take a big step in year 2. Dylan Radins, I want to see what he can do in the Saints uniform. He's a respected offensive lineman. Nick Saliveri, this is an opportunity for you to still earn some reps and earn some time on the field. But, when it comes down to the offensive line, they've done a good job of investing in the O-line. I mean, multiple first-round picks, multiple second-round picks. I mean, you have truly, truly put prime investments in the trenches. But at this point, it's time to see those picks pay off, because I want to see fun draft picks moving forward. I want to go get a flashy receiver. I want to go and get the fun, splashy running back. I want to go and get the big tight end. I just want to go and get somebody fun. I want to get somebody whose jersey that I can buy. I want to draft a player who's going to put butts in seats on Sundays. I want to draft a player who's honestly just going to put a spark in the fan base. And it doesn't have to always be a first-round pick, but damn it, I would love to see it. I love the Devin Neal selection around 6. That is an unbelievably great pick, especially considering the value. But I'm going to be honest, I'm looking back and watching the Raiders report here at Chat Sports, their reaction to drafting Ashton Jeanty. I mean, Mitchell Renz literally lost his voice just going crazy celebrating that. I would love to have that. I would love to go and be able to get a fun player that's going to be exciting, that I can root for every single Sunday, understanding, sure, things may not be perfect, and it may not be beautiful right off the bat, but give me something to root for. That's just kind of my TED Talk. Kind of a little bit of an off-topic rip, but nonetheless, wanted to get my opinion across. That being said, if you guys want to go and get some fresh Saints gear, we got this awesome hat still on sale, by the way. 25% off, chatsports.com/Saints hats. If you haven't gotten already, you better go and get it right now. Chatsports.com/Saints hat. Link is in the comments and description of this video. Now, let's talk about Fadil Diggs, because coming out of Syracuse, if you didn't know, he was a player that actually was at Texas A&M beforehand, and he was a part of the recruiting class that was viewed as the greatest of all time. And he was a part of that, but his defensive line coach helped put that recruiting class together. That being said, the fact that we got Fadil Diggs in the 7th round, Jeremy Fowler saying that's an interesting name to watch. I've said that. Ross Jackson said that. John Hendricks, Nick Underhill. A lot of people have been saying that, and it's because it's very true. I mean, look at what Jeremy Fowler had to say. Fadil Diggs was a 3-time captain for Robinson's teams, twice at Texas A&M and once for Syracuse after a 2024 transfer. So while the 7th rounders are not slam dunks to make the roster, Diggs brings a strong background of leadership. And what was a trait that we mentioned when it came to leadership? Earlier we talked about leadership with Tyler Shough. We've talked about leadership with Kelvin Banks. Fadil Diggs, leadership, a captain, a guy that's well respected, a guy that's building culture, a guy that is trying to, or the guy that has been known to be a locker room presence. And for what it's worth, I think this kind of takes a look back at, again, what Kellen Moore is wanting to do. We can look at the reports, we can look at what they've said, we can look at what they've done, but put all of that together, and you can see Kellen Moore wants to build a team that has a new culture, a new identity, and Fadil Diggs is a part of that. Not only is he a leader, he's also a damn good football player. He did really good things at Syracuse, 7.5 sacks, 15 over the course of his career. Half of those came in 2024. And look, he was also coached by some really, really good defensive minds. And Elijah Robinson, he was the defensive line coach at Texas A&M. And he was a part of, and Elijah Robinson was on the coaching staff that helped put together that really, really good A&M recruiting class. He's been known to be a great recruiter. He took Fadil Diggs to Syracuse whenever he took the defensive coordinator job for the Big Orange. He has developed an NFL pipeline, and in terms of previous picks and recent selections, I mean, he has a good little list of names that have been coached by Elijah Robinson, and this is just another player to add to that list. And, you know, some of these guys, rookies, some of these guys early in their career, we still got to see what they can do. But, you know, I will say when it comes to some of these picks, especially Fadil Diggs, Tyler Shough, Kelvin Banks, the guys we discussed today, I think that really, really indicates what the Saints were trying to do. And to be honest, I think that this was a really solid draft class. I mean, final thoughts here. I genuinely believe we're going to look back on this draft class in a few years and say, wow, that was a really, really good group. We got a great player at multiple positions. We have high-level backups in some of these spots. We have great role players here. But the big caveat is these picks have to pan out. Too many times in recent history have we seen early draft picks especially not pan out. But then after that, we just have seen draft classes just not stick around on the roster for more than a season or two. We need to start seeing these draft picks pan out. I'm praying that it happens. I'm hopeful that it happens. And I believe that it will happen. But I am ready to see it happen at rookie minicamp here this weekend. But really quick, I want to hear from you. Lastly, what's the weakest position group on this roster? I want to hear from you and the Saints fans in the comment section. Quarterback, running back, tight end, O-line, D-line, punter? Who knows? Get in the comment section. Y'all stay golden, and we'll see you next time.